Hey folks, Steve here with a special video for you today. This is, weirdly enough, the 4-year anniversary of my first video that I uploaded to YouTube for the channel. 4 years ago, which boggles my mind, to be quite honest. It's pretty wild as it is. I really am amazed at the length of time. I'm also amazed at um, where we're at, and so I thought I would look back at uh, the very first video that was uploaded here, and you can see uh, Fatal Alliance's The Great War Overview and Introduction was my first video, and as a trip down memory lane. The whole purpose of the channel originally, which is why it's just my name and not a catchy nickname or a cool title for the channel, was just I wanted to get some videos out there on a game that I was really interested in, I really liked, and I wanted to give some sort of visibility to the game and to also teach the game, thereby also learning the game, because if you can play something, or if you can teach it, you know it. And so my whole thing was I was going to do these videos on Fatal Alliances and also World in Flames, and that's really how all of this got started with this video, May 26th, 2017, way back. And just looking back at this video in particular, today it has nearly 4,000 views. Heck, 10 more views and we'll hit 4,000. Which is kind of interesting. 4,000 views, which I guess in the big scheme of YouTube is not very many when you're talking about millions of views or whatever on big videos. But 4,000 is pretty nice. I'll take that. And even looking back at, I mean, at some point it's going to load up comments. I'm not even sure there are any comments on this video, to be honest. I thought there would be, but apparently this loading is having some issues. 47 likes, no dislikes, and, well, I'm afraid to even play through this, but I had recorded this all on Vassal, and so let's get this thing going. So I had navigated this all through Vassal and described it all in Vassal, which obviously makes things a lot easier. And I think when I started recording these, I think 4 years ago, this might be when I was still living in an apartment. Trying to call, yeah, I guess it would have been. So I did not have my gaming room, I didn't have a gaming table. And so Vassal was really the only way that I could get this game to the table at all, period, basically. I wonder if I refresh this, will it give me my comments? There we go. So plenty of comments that I never even responded to some of the time. Back then, I'm not sure I got the alerts, or I wasn't paying attention to notifications to actually comment or respond to folks. But a whole different world, right? This is before I got into the idea that I would do videos just on whatever games, right? Very early on, the purpose was just to do videos on Fatal Alliances, which I still really like Fatal Alliances and World in Flames, obviously. So this is I don't think the central figure has changed much, but it's interesting to go back and kind of look at what used to be, basically. Now, my channel today, obviously there's a lot more going on. So back then, I was maybe lucky to have 100 subscribers. Now we're up to almost 1,200 subscribers. You can see I had made, I'm not sure how this shows up for you guys, but my banner, I just made a screenshot of Vassal and I messed with it to fit the pixel boundary, so it looks a little rough. So it's funny in hindsight. It's like I really ought to replace this with a high resolution picture that is nice because this just doesn't look good. It's never looked good for the entire time I've had this channel. It's never looked good. Um, but what's funny is like when I look at this now, and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll, realizing how many videos I've made. It's not so bad, because I scroll down. How long's your scroll wheel? That's still a lot of videos over time. Um, and when I look at some of these, uh, look at some of these videos, very drawn out, still very long videos for Fatal Alliances. Started getting into other topics and talking about WIF and games that I was looking forward to. You can see that's a screenshot of Imperium Romanum. That ended up being a disappointment, which is a little bit of a disappointment, the new edition, in terms of the quality and the errata and everything. That was from 2018. Running through more Fatal Alliances stuff, and we started getting into other stuff with my crappy camera over time. Looking at World War One by Decision Games. Started getting into more of the WIF stuff. I did a video review for Russian Civil War by Ted Racer. That might be the first Ted Racer game I did a review for. And just sort of everything out of that over time. I started doing my fun April Fool's videos, which I've really only done 2 of, I guess, so it's not like it's a tradition, but I like doing April Fool's videos for fun. Why not? So many things that I've started, and I've not done nearly enough Great Battles of History stuff. I haven't done anything for Great Battles of History in a couple years, I guess. I've played it since then. I've played some Great Battles of History, but I've not shown it on camera. Maybe something I should look at some more. And then I started getting into the Dark system, which I think to date is probably my biggest effort that I've done. I started with the Dark Sands. We played our way through that. Then I started looking at the Dark Valley, and I played that for, it was most of a year. It took me most of a year to play through all of the Dark Valley stuff that I played through. We started tracking 1918, 1919 Storm in the West, wanting to save it from being lost to lack of pre-orders. And even stuff from a year ago, it seems so weird to look at. Continued unboxing videos, which is always of some value, I guess. And then the rest of the Dark Valley. My attempt at World in Flames, though I had to call it after a while. We had fun with that. And it's funny how it's like, man, the Dark Valley seems so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. And the Dark Valley review is one of my most watched videos, so I think, that whole effort, the saga of me playing through 40-some turns of the Dark Valley, or 30-some turns, however many it turned out to be, culminated in that review, which is just weird to think about that was a year ago, or over a year ago. And my original War and Peace unboxing video, and I just did a unboxing video for my update kit, which turned out to be a weird surprise situation, kind of an oddball there. And yeah, just a lot of stuff. And I think in the last year I've really tried to do more and more content, and I've made some progress in that, and I don't know. I think it's interesting that when you look back at all of this, the reality is that I've not really done that many games, right? In terms of in-depth coverage. If you really look at it in aggregate, it's like I did Fatal Alliances, teaching. I did a review for Reds, but I didn't do a full playthrough of that. I did written session reports, which you can go find if you want. I did some other reviews. I tried to do Imperium Romanum on camera a little bit. With the Dark Sands, the Dark Valley. more whiff, and then we did 1918, 1919. I mean, when you really think about it, it's not that many games. Fall of the Third Reich, which we finished up not that long ago, and then we did Korea Fire and Ice, which is just wrapping up, and now we're doing The Deadly Woods. I mean, it's, not that many games over 4 years, I guess. But I only adopted this style of coverage, starting with the Dark series, knowing that that takes a long time to do, right? It'd be one thing if I was just doing reviews, and I still do reviews for games that I don't cover on camera, because some stuff is just never going to make it. Never going to make it to camera. If I played a card-driven game opposed with a friend or with my wife or something enough that I can review it, I'll just review it, and I won't take the cameras, through the whole saga of the game. But I do like that I'm doing my style the way that I'm doing it. That there's I've probably done an unboxing video for a game. Then there's an introduction, maybe a setup video. And then we go through it, hardcore, going through the game, explaining how it works. And I know for folks who stay tuned in, you like seeing the story of the game sort of occur. You're along for the ride if you can stick with it watching. And I know not everybody watches all of these videos, and I tend to click through them and check them out, make sure the video is rendered correctly for YouTube and all of that. But going through the whole process of playing through the game and then the review, the postmortems. I mean, I think it's a lot of focused effort on games. Maybe not all games should get that level of effort and that much attention to focus on and spend that many hours on, but what this YouTube channel has become in some ways is a, I don't know, video essay record of my wargaming, which is kind of interesting. I can always go back and look at where things were at on turns 3 or 4 and 5 of Korea Fire and Ice on my first playthrough and have some permanent record of what was going on then, outside any notes I might have made for myself or what have you. So it is interesting to see 4 years of stuff. And so much in my life has occurred in those 4 years, whether it was moving and doing different things, or having kids and doing the whole thing, and times where I don't have the free time to do much for the channel. So there'll be several weeks go by and I can't do anything. There'll be a couple of weeks where I'm really dedicating time, and I'm recording as much as I can in a given week, and I get multiple videos a week just because that's my outlet, that's my free time, that's how I want to spend my limited fun time, is fun time for myself anyway, recording videos. So you can see, like, okay, yeah, I've done some videos a lot in the last week or two, but looking back, I mean, there'd be times where I wouldn't be able to post anything for months at a time. Those long breaks that sometimes I have to take. It's pretty wild. Now, what's funny is YouTube Analytics provides a bunch of meta information on the channel. I don't really pay attention to much of this stuff. When I look at, like, monetization, I don't really know, how to make that work. I know some of the big channels are probably making some sort of money from their videos. I suspect that's either from the ad revenue with YouTube or Patreon, or some other agreement somehow that they're getting some sort of monetary return on their channels if they're the big ones, the biggest ones, right? There's some that are some big ones. Oh, it's the other channels your audience watches. Well, you guys like the Player's Aid, you like Ardwolf, you like Callendale, Gilbert, Stupid Joe. I mean, I watch these guys, right? So it makes sense. Looking at the audience, I mean, there's a bunch of information here, talking about returning viewers, new viewers, not sure what to make of these charts of how much they really matter in terms of understanding what's going on. I think it waxes and wanes as different videos are made available. Folks want to see different types of content. What's interesting is some of this other data down here, like, let's see if I can get rid of that. There we go. When your viewers are on YouTube, well, apparently the best time to watch my videos, or where everyone likes to watch my videos, are in the early afternoon or over their lunch break. So if you are watching my videos, you're spending your lunch hour watching my videos, cool. I think, it's interesting to see. It's this band of time, noon, that folks are watching. When I look at the other different bits of data, subscribers who turned on all notifications is 8.6%. Now, there's a whole like meme joke about YouTube where you tell folks to like, subscribe, and smash that bell button or whatever. And I really have never talked about the bell button. I don't know what to think of it. It's just, when any video comes out, you get like a notification, whether it's on your phone, if you're using a phone with the YouTube app. If you hit the bell, you get notified of anything that the channel does, producing a new video or a new post or whatever. So only 8.6% of subscribers have turned that on. So that interesting data point, I guess. The watch time for subscribers, not sure. Ooh, lots of interesting data here. I think the interesting thing that I look at is like, what's the percent of viewers overall? And it looks like, if I'm reading some of this correctly, like there are, I'm not sure if this is actually saying what I think it says, that 54% of the people who watch the channel are subscribed, 45% are not. So there's some level of, the folks who are subscribed are making use of their subscription. They're watching. There's a lot of folks that are coming in that may be aware of my channel and are just taking a peek, but maybe haven't subscribed. The vast majority of the viewers are from the United States, which is interesting. Makes sense, right? But it's only 38.3%. That breakdown changes, and this is just in the last 28 days. This one, I am age and gender, male, 100%. Not surprised by that, but then YouTube has to know your gender and your age to calculate this. I don't know exactly how they do that, if that's associated to if you're logged in with a YouTube account, like it knows based on your YouTube account or Google account or whatever. So as far as it knows, it's 100% male, and it is mostly people in their 40s or higher. So including 35 to 44, there's 13% of you are in that age range, and then the rest of you guys are a little bit older. The vast majority of you are over 40, potentially over 50. I guess I'm not too surprised by that, right? The wargame community skews male and older. That's sort of part of the situation. So, I guess nothing like super duper surprising out here. I wonder if I can do lifetime. Okay, maybe the numbers will be a little bit different here for lifetime. Lifetime, the time frames are about the same. Yeah, most across the lifetime of the channel, most of the viewership has been not subscribed, so I don't know what to make of that, but there you go. Same story, maybe 0.3% being female, but vast majority of viewers in a higher age range. Now there's different things here too for like engagement. People tend to stop watching partway through. That's okay. I do the same thing for a lot of videos. Top videos, watch time, and hours. So the Dark Valley Turn 1 has gotten the most minutes of viewership, which is interesting. People want to see what the game is like, so they're watching that video a lot. A lot of the introductory videos get a lot of viewership, which makes sense, right? Like, what point is there in sticking around for turn 39 of the grand campaign, if only to keep watching the story, and then it's the diehard guys who are watching and commenting that are sticking around that long, which is fine by me. I don't expect people to be watching that deep into the series. There is some interesting things like traffic sources, so browser features. I'm not sure. Okay, traffic from the home page, subscription feed. So most people are seeing this in their YouTube home screen. They come to the channel. Some folks are specifically searching for a game, and they find my content. External is going to be like Board Game Geek, folks coming from Board Game Geek. Oh yeah, here we go. Board Game Geek accounts for most of it. Some people are just doing Google searches. Some of it's YouTube searches. Some are coming in from Consim World somehow. I suspect because I'm on the list of YouTubers on the front page of Consim World. Playlists. A lot of folks are watching the World in Flames and Dark playlists, Dark System playlists. And yeah, all this kind of interesting meta stuff that I really don't pay much attention to, but is interesting. It is interesting to see this. The World in Flames introduction has the most views at 13,000. I didn't even realize that this video had 13,000 views on it. So yeah, there you go. Wow. 13,000 views on this one. That's surprising. I can see the whole breakdown from here. Yeah, maybe I should use this stuff more often, huh? So, I don't know. 4 years later, guys, we're still doing videos. We're doing probably more videos than I was doing back then. But now I have a sweet game room to use for it, and I've really sort of developed the channel a bit that there's a decent number of people watching it. So, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Having 1,000+ subscribers to me is amazing. It's a feat I would not have imagined. I know there are channels that are more popular that have way more subscribers. They tend to also make videos more often and are doing higher production values than I can really afford to do with my amount of time that I have to work with. But I really appreciate everyone who is subscribed. I appreciate everybody who comments regularly or at least involved in the conversation. Every comment I try to read as I can. I mean, sometimes somebody will comment on a video that is 3 years old and they're talking about something going on in the game, and I simply have no idea. I can't remember what specifically was going on, so how to answer that person is hard, so I don't always do it. But I do try to answer folks as I can, and I do try to get engaged with you guys because it just makes that much of a difference for me. Being able to upload a video on a game, in a vacuum otherwise, playing the game solitaire, especially in light of COVID circumstances, having this as an outlet for me playing games and being involved in the broader gaming community is such a big deal. It is very cool. It's very valuable. And I just appreciate all the folks who watch and are engaged in the comments and all of that stuff. It's really great, guys. It's just one of these bizarre things that I wouldn't have thought I could make happen or I could make work. And there's plenty of things I could be YouTubing about. I mean, gosh, it's all war games, but I could be talking about PC games. I could be talking about books. I could be talking about RPG stuff. I like tabletop RPGs, and I don't really talk about that here on the channel. But I could. It's just one of those funny things. Like, is there ever a reason to branch out? And if I did, would it warrant a whole new channel, or do I ever talk about that stuff here? It's stuff I think about, but right now the groove is a good groove, and I think we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going for as long as I can sustain the channel, even if I have to dip into periods of quietness or hiatus because life is just uh, doing too much stuff, and I've got to focus on all of that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this, guys. A little mini celebratory video for 4 years creating YouTube videos. Time flies. I can't believe it. 4 years. Wild. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you stuck around for this 25-minute video, kudos to you. If you watched the whole thing, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. If there's other things that we could be looking at for the channel, other ways to improve the experience, what else I can be doing that might be interesting. Knowing that I'm very single-threaded, I'm looking at maybe one game at a time for the channel. I might be looking at or doing other stuff in terms of gaming outside the channel content, but it's just a factor of time, right? So good stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. We'll see you in future videos. We're going to keep hitting the Deadly Woods. I will let folks know what goes on with my War and Peace update kit situation, and we'll take it from there, guys. So yeah, take care, guys. Keep on gaming.